Hi there, and welcome back to Lead, Learn, Thrive. I'm Pia, and as always, I'm really glad that you're here. This podcast is simply a space for real conversations about work, leadership, learning, and about how we can all find ways to thrive. Whether you're listening on your morning dog walk, your commute to work, or sat back with a cup of tea in hand, I want this to feel like a chat. One that leaves you with something to think about, or who knows, maybe even something to try. So let's dive in. Okay, now, today's conversation starts with something that caught my attention recently. A study revealed that nearly half of women and almost as many men agreed with the statement that a man's main role is to earn money. When I first saw this, I had to pause. Not because I was shocked, but because it really made me wonder. I thought, well, where does this belief come from? Why is it still so persistent? And what it means for people, for families, and more specifically for workplaces. So today I want to explore exactly that. Now, this is not with judgment, but more with curiosity, because that's where growth begins. Okay, so section 1. Let's start with this, findings and why they matter. So the survey results aren't just numbers. They tell a story about how society still views gender roles, responsibilities, and expectations. And expectations matter. So expectations shape choices, and choices shape confidence, and confidence shapes careers. So when nearly half the population believes men should carry the financial burden, it raises the questions like, are we still teaching girls and boys different expectations? Are women limiting themselves subconsciously? Are men carrying pressure they'd rather share? And are organisations unknowingly reinforcing these norms? These are not just gender questions. They're leadership questions, economic questions, and workplace culture questions. And for me, as someone who works with people across industries and on an international basis, they're deeply human questions. So, section 2. Is this an education thing? So let's explore that together. So, is this an education thing? Oh, well, partly yes, but education is bigger than schools. So we have early learned behaviour, so education that starts at home. Children who grow up in households where mum does the unpaid labour, dad works outside the home, or traditional roles are modelled consistently. They're internalised and these are normal. And they carry those norms into adulthood, often without ever being asked whether they actually agree with them. Then there's subtle signals in schools. So even in 2025, we still have and see the subtle patterns. So boys are pushed towards STEM, leadership, decision-making roles. Girls are nudged towards caring roles or safer careers. Language like bossy for girls and assertive for boys. Fewer female role models in senior positions. So no one intends harm, but these small signals educate us on who we're expected to become. So a lack of critical conversations. This is kind of why we're here. So many schools don't yet openly discuss about shared responsibilities, about financial independence, emotional labour, modern leadership roles, or the reality of dual career families. So yes, this part is an education thing, but not just classroom education. It's the education we absorb from the world around us. Section 3. We have to consider, is it a cultural thing? Absolutely. It certainly is. It's both, really, because culture shapes belief, belief shapes behaviour, and behaviour becomes normalised across generations. In some families, the idea that a man is the financial lead is seen as stability. In others, it's just tradition. And then, yet again, it's just simply unchallenged. But culture, we have to remember, is not fixed. Culture evolves, and we tend to forget that. And the people who rewrite cultural narratives are us. So every time someone decides, I want to earn, I want to lead, I want to share responsibilities differently, I want to raise my children with different expectations, that's when we see that the culture shifts. So let's take it to the next bit about the workplace perspective. So this is where I bring my consultation hat on it goes, because beliefs don't stay at home, they walk into the workplace with us. If someone believes men are the earners, then workplaces may unconsciously promote men faster, question women's ambition, expect men to take on leadership roles, and see women's careers as secondary. Or they might simply assume caregiving falls to women. And all of this creates an environment where women underestimate themselves. Men feel pressure to be financially invulnerable, and organizations lose talent purely because the expectations haven't been updated. So that's where my consultation comes in. At Carnegie Coaching and Consulting, we help organizations challenge these assumptions. Now, quickly, have to put it out there, it's not through blame, but this is through clarity, purpose, confidence, and better leadership practices. Because when culture shifts, everything else shifts too. So how do we change this? Well, here are a few thoughts or perhaps invitations for you guys to reflect on. So, challenge the story you learned. Ask yourself, did I choose this belief or did I inherit it? You could also think about separate roles from gender. So, who earns and who leads should be about strengths, preferences, circumstances, not gender. So, remove gender entirely from this discussion. Number 3, so encourage confidence and choice. In families, in classrooms, in workplaces, talk openly about ambition, leadership, and financial independence for everyone. And model shared responsibility. So real change happens when we show that roles can be shared, swapped, balanced, and fluid. Okay? Organizations must lead too, and I cannot stress that enough. Workplaces have a responsibility to create equal paths, challenge the bias, and redesign policies, supporting all employees to lead and thrive. Because talent has no gender, potential has no gender, and leadership certainly has no gender. So, 6, here's a personal question for you guys. So let me ask you, now just you, listening right now, what was your earliest memory of gender roles? And do those early lessons still influence how you think, work, or choose today? You don't need to have the answers right now. Just sit with it, okay? Just reflect. Awareness is the first step towards clarity, and clarity is the foundation of confidence. So I'm going to invite you in because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is an education thing, a cultural thing, a workplace thing, or all of the above? Send me your reflections, questions, or experiences. You might inspire a future episode or help us build a conversation that really matters. So, I'd like to say thank you for spending this time with me. This has been Lead, Learn, Thrive, the podcast from Carnegie Coaching and Consulting. If today's conversation resonated with you, share it with somebody who might find it helpful. And remember, your path to excellence starts with clarity, continues with learning, and grows with confidence. So until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep thriving.